And federal lawmakers are taking action against AI-generated pornographic material. The U.S. Senate passed a bill this week called the Take It Down Act.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolforst is with us now in studio. So, Emma, what would this legislation do?
Well, Sarah, Brent, this bipartisan measure would not only make it unlawful to knowingly publish any non-consensual intimate imagery, but would require big tech companies to take down the content within 48 hours of notice.
Take it down statute is common sense.
Tuesday, the U.S. Senate unanimously passed a bill to combat AI-generated deepfake sex abuse images posted online.
If something absolutely vicious, obscene, and harmful is on the internet, it ought to be taken down.
Colloquially known as revenge porn, Senator Richard Blumenthal calls this a growing issue online and says his office has received complaints from victims right here in Connecticut.
Right now, social media and big tech are completely unregulated in effect when it comes to potential abuses.
Connecticut native Leah Juliet knows that firsthand. An activist, advocate, and survivor themselves, Juliet's been fighting for years against online sexual violence.
Photos of me were spread on Facebook, and then they maintained their permanent home on a website, which is one of over 9,000 websites currently on Google dedicated to sharing and distributing image-based sexual abuse. And so for the last decade, I have done my best to advocate for big tech policy reform that stops the internet abuse and sexual violence that happened to me from happening to any other child or teenager in America.
Juliet says big tech companies need regulations, believing social media is treating people who use the platforms like the product.
When you go to the grocery store and you buy a piece of food or you buy a snack, you have a reasonable expectation that that food is not going to poison you. And that's because we have regulation in place. It's because we have the FDA. We don't have that for social media companies. So they're essentially acting as if they're hubs for innovation instead of companies that are providing products to people, goods and services. And they have a duty of care to make sure that those products don't cause harm to the folks who are using them.
Both Juliet and Senator Blumenthal say the Take It Down Act is only a start.
It enables victims of deepfake revenge pornography to have it taken down, but it is only a first step.
This bill is now in the hands of the U.S. House, which Blumenthal calls an obstacle. He tells me he and his Senate colleagues are pushing the House to bring this measure to a vote and pass it as soon as possible. Sarah, Brent.